Frank Demo, ICW. I'm here to represent Wrestling Revolution Keaton.
Welcome, wrestling fans. It's Wrestling Revolution Keaton here with none other than a woman who needs no introductions, but I'll just introduce her anyway. Emersyn Jayne. Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. No problem. So, what's your first memory of wrestling?
My first memory is in 2000. I watched Lita and the Hardy Boys, and that was the first thing I ever seen. So Lita was my favourite wrestler growing up. I seen her and how different she looked and how she was like wrestling the guys.
Yeah.
And then I was like, after seeing that, I was like, I want to do this. I don't know how, but I want to be a wrestler. That was my first memory.
And then who she was your idol growing up?
Yes, Lita, and I loved the Hardy Boys, and then like Edge and Christian, and then as like 2001, 2002, I loved like William Regal, Kurt Angle, and people like that.
And then who's your what woman did you think, right, I want to do this?
As soon as I seen Lita, I was like, I love her, and she's still like my all-time favourite. Just because she got me into it, she had that connection, because she wasn't like the typical like model looking. She was like, she had her own look, and she was comfortable in who she was, and then she was fighting the guys, and that just, and the moves she was doing, no other girls were doing. And that was like, as soon as I seen that, I was like, I want to do this, but I have no idea how to do it.
And the first before the first match you had, where did you start training?
I started training in a small place in Scotland, and then I met Nikki Storm, who's Nikki Cross now, and then she told me about where she trains, and then I started training with her at Source Wrestling under Nikki and Demo, who's Killian Day, and they, my first match was against Nikki, and I was so nervous, and then my second match was with her as well. So I had a lot of my first matches were with like Nikki. I wrestled Piper Niven a lot, Kaylee Ray, who's Alba Fire, so I was really lucky with the time I started that these were the people that I was having my first matches, and people I was wrestling like every week or every month. Like I wrestled Piper Niven so many times.
And then what's your favourite match you've ever had?
See, I don't have one. I feel like I've had good matches, but I'm never happy with my matches. So there's always little things that I'm like, oh, I didn't like that. I feel like my best match is yet to come. So I've had amazing opponents, and I've wrestled so many people from around the world, but I feel like my best match is yet to come, if that makes sense.
So then, do you not have a favourite opponent then you faced?
I've got people, but I don't have a favourite. Like there's people I've been lucky enough to wrestle. I think like favourite opponent like in the UK, there's just a bunch of people that are like all really good that I like wrestling. Like I think Rio is phenomenal, like Danny Luna, I love wrestling, Alex Windsor, Millie McKenzie, Nina Samuels, Kanji, and there's just like Alexis Falcon. So it's just like there's all these girls that we're all at such a high level, and I feel like anytime I wrestle them, I look forward to the match, and we just have good chemistry.
Yeah, so I suppose that in-ring chemistry is the best thing to have in a match.
Yeah.
And it was true that you were 36, the top out of 100 women in PWI.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. Yeah,
What was it like being ranked like that?
I was very grateful to be nominated, especially that high up as well. So it was just like a nice, cool moment that like I've got like the magazine with like me in it, and it's something I can look back on like when I'm not wrestling, and you know, like little cool things like that.
Yeah. How much is your favorite title you've ever won?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna do like I feel like wrestling people. So in Scotland, winning like the Discovery Women's Championship, because I was on the first ever show, so that's always a cool like moment. And then in like England, I've won the championship in North Wrestling, where I absolutely love Pro Wrestling Eve, TNT as well. And then obviously in Ireland, I've been the over-the-top wrestling women's champion twice. So it's just like cool. Like I would say I've got a favourite one, because they're all like special in their own way.
Yeah. What's the worst injury you've ever had?
I I broke my ankle and I had to get surgery and get screws in it. So that's probably the worst one because the ankle in general it gets so stiff. So like in the winter I have to like stretch it out of the time or like it just gets so stiff all the time and it's just I don't have like the movement's not as great as it was because it's just I've got like metal in there. So that's probably the worst one because I couldn't walk. So like I had to walk on crutches and whereas I had a little injury to my shoulder, but like I can still walk about. So the ankle is probably the worst one.
And did it not make you kind of want to stop wrestling?
No.
With all the injuries?
No. I think when I'm injured, I want to wrestle more because I can't. So I'm like dying to get back in the ring. But it's just part of wrestling. Like we take so much impact and you just pick up little knocks here and there.
When you were wrestling on OTT, did you have a favourite opponent there?
I think again I just really like wrestling. Like I wrestled Raven Creed a lot, so I really liked working with her. And then obviously Debbie Keitel. And then I don't think I ever. Oh, I did have one of my favourite matches from OTT is when I wrestled Martina in Limerick. We had a really fun match there. So like them all because it's like these are people I wrestled like more than once quite a few times, and I think they're all great.
So what advice would you give a young training wrestler when he starts out?
I think just like find yourself the best school possible and like look up, you know, who the trainers are and kind of where they are working and like and make sure like sometimes there might be a school 10 minutes from you but that's not always the best school for you, so make sure that you go to the best school you can possible because then you'll learn more. And even if it is traveling, like part of wrestling is traveling, so just and just listen. I think sometimes it just listening and taking in all the information and learning from everyone. Like you can travel to like I still travel to all as many schools as I can. I go down to like England and a lot of Wales, so it's like constantly learning and learning from everyone because then you can take it all and then figure out what works best for you.
And speaking of traveling, where's your favourite place you've ever travelled to for wrestling?
See, I think Japan. But then I also recently went to America and oh my god, the food in America. And it was such a great experience, like wrestling in that round. So I think both of them. I'm not like one of those people that has a lot of favourites. I just like have like favourites rather than one like.
Yeah. And you're every wrestler. Well, pretty much every professional wrestler dreams to get into WWE. What about you? Is that the same?
Not necessarily. I'm just having fun. I just want to have the best quality matches I can. I want to learn as much as possible, and I'll just see what happens. Like it's not like I make small goals, so you know if things happen, then that's great. But I'm having an amazing time just wrestling and learning.
And how did you come up with the name Emersyn Jayne?
Emersyn is an old medieval surname, and I studied history for a degree. So when I was learning about different like people in history, I seen it. It's spelled differently, but then I was like, that goes with. So I changed the spelling of it, and I really liked it. So that's it.
And what do you prefer being? Me or face?
Either or. I'm not bothered now. I feel like I'm face pretty much everywhere. So it's just either or. Like you should be able to do both.
And how often do you train?
Every week. I train. Some weeks I'll train less, and then some weeks I'll be able to train like 3-4 times. So I train every week, and I think you should be constantly training because you can only get better, and you want to keep your standard up.
Who's the person that's been most effective in your professional wrestling career?
Sorry?
Who's the person that's been most effective in your professional wrestling career?
Probably Joe Henry.
Joe Henry?
Yeah.
You believe?
Always. I feel like me and Joe, I train at Joe's school, and he's always been one of my biggest supporters, and he still is, and he's just always pushing for me, and I think he's great, and I'm so happy to see the success he's getting right now. Like we've all known this for years, but like it's just blown up, and he's just doing amazing, and he's in America all the time. I'm just so happy for him because he's great. So like yeah, I would definitely say him.
And what was it like being in a tag team here with Katie Harvey?
Well, she didn't want to tag with me, and then she made me do all the work. So you know, not the greatest experience.
Come on, Emersyn! Yes! But do you think she's good? Like, she's a very good wrestler.
Yeah, no, I think she's great, but she wasn't behaving very well tonight.
And how many stars would you give your match?
But tonight,
Yeah,
well, that's not up to me. That's up to the fans. I don't.
that's the Dave Master.
Yeah.
So, and what's next for Emersyn Jayne?
Wrestling wise, just got a lot of shows coming up. Just traveling about. Got a few things in Europe coming up, so I'm just see what happens. Having fun, eating food.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.